Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something clicked.
I wasn't expecting that either.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny, I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things, of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and you...
I actually feel a lot more awake.
All right. So, do you have any parts that you'd like to get to know better or change your relationship with?
I have so many parts, James.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
I was just going to suggest, you could also start with a trailhead, which is just, here's what happened with me, and, we could find out the parts from there. Just whatever feels right.
Yeah, I have, I have a whole bunch of parts and I wrote them down. And I was thinking maybe either I have this rebellious part, this rebel part.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have a part that's afraid of public speaking.
Yes.
And then I also have this part that really doesn't like judgment, people that are judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
Are any of those interesting to you? Do you have any curiosity towards any of those? Something that maybe you haven't done yet? Or I don't know.
I have curiosity for all of them. And that's not a criteria I would use of, what I have or haven't done yet. So I would ask you, which of those, if any, feel like they need your attention most?
Well, I guess the rebel part. I don't know. It's just calling me right now for some reason.
Okay, great.
I'll go with that.
Okay. Well, you can think all those other parts, and if there are a bunch of parts up, you can maybe just ask them all to have a seat. Maybe to have a seat in the waiting room. And let them know you'll focus on the rebel part, and if any of them need to jump back in, that they can.
Mm-hmm.
So, the rebel part. How do you notice it when it shows up in your body?
It's it feels like a pressure in my left collarbone.
Okay. What else do you notice about it? Any other sensations, vibrations, energies.
There's like this urgency. There's like a feeling of urgency for some reason. And
okay.
Yeah, I guess there's like an energy or like there is some movement. I think it kind of moves in like waves, maybe.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're noticing
like
it there,
up and down. Mm-hmm.
as you're noticing it, how do you feel towards it?
Well, I do notice I have this part that's like really aligned with the rebel part, that really, really likes the rebel part, like almost too much.
Okay. Okay. I'm curious if that does feel like a separate part, or if that is the rebel part itself kind of championing itself.
Okay, let me think about this.
It may not be important to tease out. I was just...
Okay. Mm-hmm. I think it is a separate part, but I think it is a separate part because it does feel like that part lives in my head.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. So see if you can ask that part, the one that is aligned with it, that's aligned with the rebel, lives in your head. See if you can ask that one for space to allow you to get to know the rebel part.
Okay. It says yes.
Great. And now how are you feeling towards the rebel part?
I'm open and curious to it.
Awesome. Let's just let it know that. Let it know you'd like to get to know it better. And you've gotten those other parts to make space. And then just ask it what it wants you to know.
It says it's important to be myself.
Okay. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm guessing it feels like sometimes you're not yourself. And it has to rebel against that.
I would say, can you ask that question again? Sometimes I don't feel like myself, that it has to rebel against itself.
So it said that it's important for you to be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was asking if it feels like sometimes you're not being yourself. And that's what it's rebelling against, is that not being yourself.
Okay. It's saying that it doesn't like to be told what to do.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's making sure I am myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like a big part of me right now. So I'm not getting the sense that I'm not myself. Like it feels like it propels me to be myself. Sometimes like too much, maybe. I don't know. Like it just right now, it just kind of feels like a strong energy.
Yeah. Okay. And what's it afraid would happen if it didn't use such strong energy?
Um, like there's like this faint image of my people pleaser that's kind of trapped in this cage. And so now I'm thinking that it's kind of hinting maybe that, yeah, something to do with that.
Okay. So the people pleaser part is that's causing you to not be yourself, and the rebel thinks that the cage is necessary.
I think the rebel's energy is really strong. Like I feel it really strong. And the people pleaser energy is just really faint. Like, and so, yeah. And so the rebel sort of prevents the people pleaser part from coming out of its cage.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And what's it afraid would happen if it didn't work so hard to prevent that?
Then the people pleaser would grow bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It'll come out of its cage.
Right. And what would be so bad about that?
It's done a lot of work to keep it in this cage.
Yeah. Yeah. You can just acknowledge that you see how much work it's done and how strong it is. And we don't need to keep asking this, but I am curious what would happen if the people pleaser comes out? What's bad about that to this part?
I wouldn't get to be myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would be controlled.
Mm-hmm. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just let it know that makes sense to you. Can I show you more about that feeling of being controlled? Kind of any memories around that or images it wants to show you about what that's like? And you don't have to share any of it with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's showing a family member.
Okay. Are you okay with it showing you that?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Just let it know you're okay with seeing the things that it's concerned about, afraid of?
I am noticing that what was it called again? The rebel part has an angry energy to it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that strong feeling.
Yeah. Does it make sense to you why it would be so angry if it's trying to prevent this feeling of being controlled?
Yeah, it's angry towards any thing or person that it perceives as trying to control me.
Mm-hmm.
It has like a really strong energy.
Yeah.
I actually never felt this before.
Okay. And are you okay with it right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If it feels like too much, we can back out. If you're okay with it, just let it know that you're okay with it. Showing you all of this is showing you its strength. And see if you can show it some appreciation for its intention.
Okay, it's softened back a little bit.
Yeah. Were you able to show it that appreciation? Did it receive that?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
It received it, but it still feels like it's trying to say that it still has to be there and protect me.
Yeah. No, we don't want to get rid of it. You could ask it how long it's been doing its job.
It just feels like forever.
Mm-hmm. And what would it rather be doing if it didn't have to work so hard? What would it rather be doing with its energy?
I could join teams with my inner cheerleader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. You might just spend some time kind of seeing that with it, what that would be like. Another question for it is, how old does it think that you are?
3.
Okay. And when it shows you or says that to you, that it thinks you're 3, and maybe shows you these feelings, memories of being controlled or of this family member, does that all feel like it's related? Does it feel like does it feel like there was something going on at that age that made it become so active?
It feels like I see like this image of this like a snowball, and like it's like tumbling in the snow, and as it's tumbling in the snow, it's like getting bigger and bigger and gaining more and more momentum. And so what I feel like it's symbolizing is that it was just like really small back then, but over time it turned into something a lot bigger.
Yeah.
It looks like at one time it actually melted too. It, like I see like an image of it kind of melting at some point, and then it started snowing again, and then it started snowballing again.
Okay. Yeah. So those are all valuable kind of images and metaphors that you could return to when you're working with this part. So just learn more about its history and about the parts that it's protecting. And maybe even about a 3-year-old. And that's common for when a part thinks that you're 3, it's often because there's an exile in there that's around that age.
I mean, I could see my 3-year-old self, but I also feel like the rebel part is a teenager.
Sure.
Just feels like a teenager. Feels like very teenagey energy. Feels like who I was when I was a teenager.
Okay. Well, you can go ahead and update it on your real age. And you could ask it what it thinks about you going to these other parts, going to maybe these younger parts. I won't suggest that we do it in this conversation, but just the hypothetical. See if you were able to go to the parts that it's protecting and help them out. Would that make it easier for it to relax?
I think it trusts me. Yeah, it definitely trusts me. It trusts me, but I also get the feeling that it likes its job and it still needs to be here.
Okay. Great.
It likes being this. It likes having this role in my system.
Yeah. And again, it sounds like a very valuable role. And so in getting to know parts, we're building a relationship and we're working on our communication with them. So that whatever job they want to do, they can do it without such loud volume. They're just able to communicate easier with you.
Yeah, it likes me.
Great. And it sees you as your current age.
Yeah. Excuse my current age. I guess it's a little surprise, but it also feels like I guess it's like I said, like it's like that teenager energy that thinks it knows it all and it doesn't matter that I'm an adult. It kind of knows what, even though it trusts me, like, and it likes me, it still thinks it knows more than me. Like it's a know-it-all a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Feels like a know-it-all.
Sure. And it may have different perspectives and, in some ways, maybe it has more intimacy with certain other parts. So there's definitely a lot you can learn from it in all parts. You said it likes its job.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything it doesn't like about its job?
It doesn't like that it pushes other people away, and it doesn't like that it has to lock up the people pleaser. It kind of feels mean to do that. It doesn't like, yeah, I guess that's all that's coming.
Okay. So those are things that maybe you can help it with. Like, for example, with the people pleaser, you could also, in theory, go to that part and make sure that, in building your relationship with that part, that it doesn't overwhelm you, that it doesn't take control.
That part feels weak.
Right. But but the rebel is afraid that it would get too strong, right? If let out of the cage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. You're right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's just a hypothesis that you could go to that part. You could negotiate with it, go to the people pleaser part, negotiate with it, learn more about it, build this relationship. And yeah, maybe it could be let out and not without that risk of it taking over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just saying again that it trusts me.
Great. Good. Well, it sounds like we have a lot of trailheads for future work. I mean, this part's it's just shed a lot of light, it sounds like, on the different parts that it's interacting with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is there more that it wants to show you or that you'd like to ask it?
It's showing me that it's connected to the other part that I stated before, or I don't know if I stated to you before, but the part that doesn't like judgment, it's somehow related.
Okay.
And it's also showing me that it's been very active in my life recently. Not recently, but like over the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And how it's kind of how it's projected itself, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It also sees, yeah, I guess it's just kind of showing me again that what it doesn't like about its job.
All right. Good. So the pushing other people away, having to lock up the people pleaser.
Yes.
and it said that it would rather be using its energy with the cheerleader.
Yeah, it could join forces with the cheerleader and then be stronger in that area, and it could potentially make amends with the people pleaser so that things don't feel too out of balance. Mm-hmm. But it says that it needs to be here.
Yes.
Right now, as it is.
Yeah. Okay. I'd like to offer another option. You know, when it thinks about making amends with the people pleaser. Mm-hmm. When I think about parts, you know, so many of them have so many different motivations and desires and preferences, mm-hmm. that I don't think about getting my parts to get along. Mm-hmm. I think about being the one in the middle so that they mm-hmm. can come to me, and then I can negotiate and mediate the conflicting drives. Mm-hmm. So mm-hmm. I don't know, you might just offer that to it of, you know, it might not have to make amends. It might not have to like the people pleaser for you to like the people pleaser.
I get the sense that it trusts me to do that, but mm-hmm. there's a but. There's a part of it, it's angry. It's like this like really angry energy, but there seems to be like there's something underneath that anger, and it senses like almost like a sadness. And mm-hmm. part of the sadness, at least, like, is sad that it caged this people pleaser when the rebel really just likes freedom, wants everything to be free. So it feels really bad that it's locking up a part of me when it goes against its own desires for itself and for me.
It sounds like kind of has some grief or some remorse around that.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you okay just being with it in that and noticing that? And letting it know that that's something that you'd like to help with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that would be nice because it just wants me to feel free, and it's realizing now I can't feel free if something is locked up. So it was trying to help me, but it notices that it kind of did something to me that it was trying to protect me from.
Yeah, this part is just summed up IFS, I think. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. What would it like from you going forward?
it would like me to actually talk to the people-pleasing part and try to, I don't know, offer my presence for some reason to the people-pleasing part and see if, no, I don't know what it wants me to see. It just says offer my presence to the people-pleasing part.
That's exactly what I would suggest also. And yeah, who knows what you'll see. This part trusts you, this rebel trusts you, and you've offered your presence to it today in this conversation, and you got to learn more about it.
Mm-hmm.
And opened up some possibilities. And that's it. That's something you can do with every part, just by offering your presence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it thinks or feels or, yeah, it's like showing me the image of like light going in a cage. So I don't know. Maybe it wants, I don't know, maybe it'll feel, the people-pleasing part will feel a little bit more free when it sees that there's some light.
Yeah, I bet it will. Is there anything else that this part would like from you? Anything else in your relationship with it?
No, it feels like I value it already.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It doesn't. I don't get the sense it needs anything from me for itself.
Okay. How did the two of you enjoy being in this space together?
Yeah, I thought I think we both have the same sort of feeling. I don't know if we just infused within one another or what happened, but it just feels like the same feeling, which is just like there's like this like insight, like this like aha moment, right? Like that about like the rebel kind of caging up something and how it doesn't want that for me. So there's just like some insight. That's
great.
Kind of the feeling of insight.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any more questions for this part.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So if there's more that you'd like to learn about it or do, or if there's anything you'd like to talk with me about.
No, I'll just give it a hug.
Awesome.
I gave it a hug and told it that it was doing a great job and I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can maybe thank all those other parts that gave you space to do this. And if you keep doing IFS, you can let them know that you're coming for them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have.
Okay. Does it feel complete for now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions for me? Feedback? Anything?
No, it was just really nice to have you here and facilitate that process for me. And I appreciate you for doing that.
My pleasure. And I appreciate you for everything you did to show up and all those parts to show up. So happy to do it again sometime. I'll send you another link if you're interested.
Sounds good. Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful night.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Okay. Bye.
Mm-hmm. Take care. Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. join the Discord server, or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube, and they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.